REEDS is the short form for Rural Environmental Enterprises Development Society. It's basically a non-profit, and the focus is on skill building among the rural women and youth. It's been quite some time now. It all started after I started doing my doctoral research in Madhya Pradesh. I worked with the tribals there, and I realized they have tremendous creativity. They keep making all kinds of utility, decoration, fancy items out of the natural surroundings. Now, after completing my doctorate, I had an opportunity to work with the United Nations and the WHO and various other bodies, which took me to various parts of the country. And a lot of it was also around Punjab and Haryana. And that was when I realized, because I had still maintained an interest, a very deep interest in the crafts and in the artisans, I realized that Punjab has a huge variety of crafts which these days are very less spoken of. Seeing this, I approached the tourism department in Punjab and asked them that I would like to study, I would like to carry out a survey on the crafts of Punjab. They liked my proposal, and they found funding for it and made sure that we completed this proposal within 6 months. This took me all around Punjab to every single niche where I could see craftsmen working on a number of crafts, whether it was embroidery, the typical fulkari embroidery. It is a typical craft of Punjab. It is almost a household rural industry. Then we have dari making. That is also another craft. Besides it, there was woodwork, there was earthenware, and a lot of other things which we rarely think of. Punjab really has a huge variety of the crafts, as does our entire country. And while I've been roaming around all over the country, I've realized our artisans do not get their due. Earlier, they were surviving on royal patronage. It was the kings or the people in power who could give them their wherewithal, their sustenance, when they made beautiful things for them, when they crafted certain artifacts for them. But post-independence, there has been a gradual dwindling. No doubt, there have been a lot of government initiatives taken by the NABARD, the KVIC, the handicrafts department, the textiles ministry. Everybody has been trying, but somehow the focus of the entire exercise has always been on the artisan, in giving the artisan that amount of money or that amount of training which would tide him over that situation. There was no regular long-term answer to their predicament. The artisans were having a very bad time because the times are changing, everything was changing around them, pricing had gone up, their raw materials was touching the sky literally because the prices were so high. And yet there were some artisans in Hoshiarpur when I was working there. They came and told me that, ma'am, we do not even get the labor that we put into this thing. Forget about the cost of the material and other things. And many a times when we take our artifacts or when we take our products to the shopkeeper, the price he gives us so low that we feel like almost burning the entire product to cinder. It was an integrated project which we took up with the Tourism Department, Government of India, as well as the Tourism Department, Punjab. And the Panchayat gave us this land. About 3.5 acres of land was allocated in village Boothgarh. The idea was to find sustenance for the craft. Earlier, the craft had suffered a setback because this used to be ivory inlay on wood. So it was called Hathi Dant Kam, which is ivory inlay. Later on, however, the artisans, because there was a ban on ivory and there was no availability of that particular material, they started experimenting with brass, with aluminium, and then with acrylic plastic. Now, acrylic plastic is being used widely in Hoshiarpur for making these products. Our project helped us. We started sometime in 2005-6. We started working with the artisans, and they were spread over 23 villages in the district. That was when we started working, and the artisans gained heart literally by our efforts, so much so even the PMO, that's the Prime Minister's office, was willing to showcase some of their goods so that they could be used as state gifts. And we have had artisans who are almost 6th or 7th generation artisans contributing to these exquisite pieces. The pandemic has practically dealt a death blow to the crafts, because the crafts people, whether it is women or men, have found no buyers for their products earlier, because these are genuine complaints coming from artisans all over the country, in fact, that we do not have any platform to showcase our products. Earlier there used to be government sponsored melas, festivals, exhibitions, expos, even they were at the national level and at the international level. However, the pandemic put the entire thing to a halt, and now with this break of almost 2 years, most of the artisans are sitting hungry in their homes. They do not even have the raw material to make their products because they have exhausted whatever they had. Now there's a huge gap in the understanding of the artisan and, of course, the marketing people. We have tried, we have worked with a few of the platforms. There we've tried to showcase their products. Now there was one small instance where we took some of the people from Fab India to the villages and we showed them that this is the work that's going on. But when the order came, it was for 500 pieces of a particular thing, and all in the same color and same form. Now we could not fulfill that order because we cannot possibly have 500 pieces of handmade stuff which looks alike. It cannot be humanly possible. They do not know, number one, how to contact the customer. When they can and somebody helps them to contact the customer, they do not know how they are to be paid and what they are to be paid. We'll give you an example. There is this Thapar Extension College of Management in Barwala. Their students approached some of our women. There are almost 600 self-help groups which we have in this region who were asked to showcase their products. They do not have any conceptualization of what is the cost of their product. They just give an arbitrary cost, or they'll come to know that, oh, so and so's dupatta or sari sold for so much. They will hike up their price to that without thinking what is the base material, how much work has gone into it, how much time they spent in making it. We realize that these traditional crafts and the traditional products have a very limited usage. In the villages, the 2.6 meters fulkari dupatta can be used for festive occasions. It's given to brides. But beyond that, nobody has explored what do we do with this. Nobody has been able to, as yet, define other uses for it. That is, here is where we see the opportunity, and we want to tweak this product in a manner that we have products which are more utilitarian. Instead of buying an entire dupatta, can we give a jacket or a kurti or maybe a border which can be used? Now these are ideas we are coming up with, and some of the women are working. Yes, it's been a tough road because they cannot conceptualize what will you do with a small strip of just this embroidery. But then one very interesting thing was, in Punjab, weddings are a big deal. So we started putting things around the wedding. Where earlier this dupatta was given in the wedding, we started working with shagan envelopes. These were gifts of money are usually given in these kind of envelopes. Then we started making giveaways, wedding favors, like it could be a purse, it could be a string purse, it could be some kind of a cushion, a set of cushions. So this kind of change and fast moving items which would sell more and bring in the bacon for these women was what we were considering. I have thought of maybe in Thailand we have a place called Chiang Mai where they have done excellent work with the Ho tribe. They make products and they give opportunities to the tourists to try and make that product. and they charge for everything, for making the product as well as buying that same product which you made. So it's a win-win situation for the artisan and also their purchase of raw material. I wish we could do something like that. I have this in mind for a place called Jandiala Guru near Amritsar, where the brass work, hand-beaten brassware is made, which is something which is obsolete now in most of the country. And the idea is to bring the tourist to those people who are using wooden mallets to give shape to all kinds of utensils, and a person should try it. I mean, it was our effort in 2015 that part of our team was involved in helping get this place declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now, post 2015, we have been trying quite a few times to make this place a living museum, a living place where people could come, interact, work with the artisan and make their own products. There needs to be a lot of training at all levels. My team needs to be trained, because you see, we have been working at the grassroots level, but we are not aware of all the things that are possible. So we need training. Then our people need training. The artisans who are there at the ground level, they need to know what we are doing. They trust us, but they want to know who is it that we are going to interact with. I would like to say that suppose I have interacted with a platform, an e-platform which is willing to pick up products. Now they take up goods on consignment basis. They never pay upfront. Now suppose our goods are lost. Now if a fulkari worth maybe 5,000 rupees or 8,000 rupees is lost, who pays? Now things like insurance, things like what is the safety of the products if they are damaged, who pays? Compensations. These are things which we also want to know about, and we know that there will be platforms where we can get training on. Similarly, that training will have to be percolated among our artisans as well, so that the trust they have for us can then help them stand up on their own. We have no inclination to make them permanently dependent on us. The objective of REEDS is always to teach the man to fish. Let them stand on their own feet, let them become self-sufficient. They are gifted, and they are the only ones who can take their gifts to the world. Our objective is to make sure that they don't lose heart. That's what we're doing.